those people that I'm finding right now are the greatest contactees.
Absolutely.
And are unaware of it.
Absolutely.
And it's happening again and again. And it's so subtle that they're underestimating the contact experiences that they're having until they start looking at it from the superconscious level. And there's a lot of people that are coming forward that's happening to right now.
I agree.
And it's really a beautiful thing.
It is. It is. Okay. Barry, just letting you know, I'm live on YouTube, I'm live on FB, and we're live on Blog Talk. This is the first time I'm trying to do this. I don't have much battery span on. Big up to our family. It's a bad connection too. Big up to our family on. Ooh, it may not last though. Big up to our family on YouTube. So we just joined our family on YouTube a little bit. So hopefully they'll be able to listen to some of the show. Peace to y'all. Okay.
Okay, I want to join that one. So you're on your page then, right, on YouTube?
I'm on YouTube.
I couldn't find any of that. I couldn't find it on Facebook either.
Okay, so I'm on Facebook right now. We're on Blog Talk, and I'm on YouTube. It's a pretty bad connection, it's saying, but it's still holding up. So peace to y'all. This is the first time. It's a little weird, though. This is a little like parallel universes merging together. So I like the lighting better on YouTube, though. So for anyone who can't join me on Facebook, you can always go on YouTube and you can see us live on YouTube just for a little while. I only have 45% on my iPad and it's not charging. My charger's not working. So for you guys to join a little bit of the Blog Talk, this is a little bit of a preview of the show. Okay. So Barry Littleton, for anyone who doesn't know, Barry Littleton is gracing our presence tonight. I'm grateful that he joined us again on the platform to help to enjoy conversations. Open mic tonight. Again, I'm going to repeat the number again. Hold on. The number to call in is 515-605-9881. For anyone who's on just joining us freshly, hey YouTube, the number is 515-605-9881. You can call in. It's open mic tonight. We're talking about everything UFOs. Barry Littleton's here. He's got a plethora of knowledge. We're talking about ETs. We're talking about everything, metaphysics, occultism, whatever you have you, or, you know, some of you have some issues with the my polygamous stance, so y'all can call in too. Big up to y'all. So Barry, we're gonna go right into our open mic. We might as well. You ready for it already?
Yeah, absolutely. And what is it, a 5-minute deal for each call?
Yeah, you're gonna do. I'm gonna let you. Yo, Barry, I'm gonna let you check for this because you're better at this than me. You know, I'll talk to them all night. I love it, but I have no boundaries. So verbal boundaries. So Barry, you're gonna take this. Can you handle the 5-minute mark? Tell me when it's kind of ready. You could kind of text me. We won't be rude. So, okay, everyone. It's open mic. Again, the number is 515. If you got gripes with any of us, if you want to talk about metaphysics, ETs, contact, the solar eclipse, how to change you, if you have abilities, don't put your name. Let us know. Right now, you can call in 515-605-9881. We got a couple of hours, and this will be fun. And I got 44% on. Hopefully the live will last. I don't see it lasting. Okay, they're still on. Okay, Barry, can you see me on the live on YouTube? Barry?
Yes.
Okay, you good?
Finally, I'm plugged into something.
Okay. Yeah. All right, so let's take our first phone call. We've got our first phone call of the night. It's area code 504-5316. You're on the line with Fleur Brune and Barry Littleton. Peace, family. 504-5316. You're on the line with Barry Littleton and Fleur Brune.
Hi, Fleur Brune. Hi, Barry.
Peace, C-Star.
How you doing?
Who are we speaking with?
I spoke to you all, Tiffany. I spoke to you all the last show when I kind of got off. I was the first caller. I kind of got off the subject or whatever, but I talked about like shadow people and me having issues with cancer and stuff like that.
Yes.
But I'm calling because I had another experience.
Okay.
One night I was asleep in bed with my son, and for some strange reason I felt like somebody was watching me, so I woke up. And it was this huge figure. lots and lots of hair, melanated, and I couldn't tell if it was male or female. But I remember saying, whoever you are, whatever you are, I don't want you here. Please leave. And the experience was as if the being kind of laughed at me a little bit. And I just heard this loud ringing in my ears. And then it was gone. And so I went back to sleep. But then I awoke maybe about 2 hours later to some iridescent type hieroglyphic coding on my ceiling, and I couldn't really understand it. And like the next day, I was asking the spirit guide to please clarify it for me. Like, I really didn't understand it. I know what I saw. And all of this was going on, and my son was sleeping peacefully beside me. So I just don't know how to get clarity of it.
Okay. Barry, you wanna
I have a question. I have a question. Did this being, did it all remind you of maybe some type of a smaller Sasquatch or some type of a hominid?
For me, it was huge. It was huge, and when I saw it, I had already experienced the whole situation with shadow people, so it made me sit up in my bed, and I was still looking at it. I couldn't tell if it was male or female, but it was definitely a melanated being, huge, lots of hair, and I didn't feel a sense of fear or anything like that, but I just felt a sense of something watching over me. That's what made me wake up. And when I started to say, whoever you are, whatever you are, I don't want you here, it kind of like smirked, kind of laughed at me.
Interesting. But
once I said that and I closed my eyes, I had this ringing, alarming vibration, sound frequency in my ears.
Mm-hmm.
And then when I opened my eyes back up, it was gone.
Mm.
Katie,
it's interesting because one thing, we could call inorganic beings that jump in our field of awareness all the time during our waking consciousness. But we're so busy working and taking care of our kids that we can't normally perceive what's happening. But when we're going into the sleep realms and coming out of that is when they can kind of meet us halfway. And, it's very interesting because as you're speaking, what kept coming to me was the need to look at this part of the Free Foundation survey question. It's question 91, and it's the large animal type. So that involves the people that have had encounters that have maybe encountered a large animal type, whether that's a Sasquatch, Bigfoot type, or something else, And as you're talking, that just keep having me look at that. And it's saying at like 2,800, or at 399 people, 131 said it was positive, and 36 said it was negative. So, you kind of fall into that, the category of maybe the neutral, which was 72 people said that. I don't know. That just came off of it as you're talking, but I think that you were dealing maybe more with the interdimensional than even an extraterrestrial or something like that. I think this is more of one of those inorganic beings that exist in that realm that is very close to Earth. There's several Earths here, and they're starting to intersect quite a bit.
But the thing about it, even though I saw something that I was in a sleep state and I was barely awake, I didn't have any kind of fear. My only concern was my son. Whatever it was, I didn't fear it.
Mm-hmm.
So it wasn't giving me any kind of dark or negative energy. It just was like I was feeling like, okay, I don't want you here. Please just leave. And it was like more of a protection type feeling that I actually got, because after that, like I said, I went back to sleep, and maybe 2 hours later, and I woke up and I had these iridescent, almost hieroglyphic messages on my ceiling, and I was just like, I don't understand that.
Did you, Katie asked, did you take pictures? Did you write any of the symbols down? Can you remember any? Did you try to remember? And
I cannot
okay.
remember. I tried my hardest
Okay.
to write them down, and I did speak to my sister about it, and she was like, it's imperative that you keep a notebook on your nightstand.
Absolutely.
So when you're having these apparitions, you can sort of some type of way kind of try to investigate and understand what it was. But when I tell you whatever it was, I didn't have any kind of fear.
Mm-hmm.
I couldn't tell if it was male or female. But it was just the fact that my son was in bed with me, peacefully sleeping, and I didn't want to, put him in any kind of danger or anything like that. So, but I don't know if the being took it as if that I was afraid or that I would try to do something or whatever, because it kind of smirked and laughed at me, like as if to say, you're believing something about me that isn't what it is.
I agree. I think, and Katie also mentioned it could be your future self. Sometimes we show up as a later aspect of ourselves, looking differently, and we are visiting ourselves in a previous incarnation or previous physical form. She mentioned that. Katie had said maybe it's your future self in an incarnation. Yeah.
Wow.
That's why the fear is not
My
there.
whole thing is,
You didn't have fear. That's what lets us know that it was a negative encounter. Fear is the first thing that comes in when you get these beings that come in front of you. Your empathic abilities that we all have innately will tell you if it's friend or foe. Your first initial feeling. You didn't have fear. You didn't have fear enough to leave your bed. You didn't have fear enough to wake up your son and take him out of the room. This means that something on a subconscious level let you know that this being was somewhat connected to you, or a being that you knew intrinsically was not going to harm you or your son.
mm-hmm. And I have had experiences where I feel a certain type of energy and I know it's negative. So I can decipher the difference between that experience and another experience.
I agree.
And I feel like that whatever that being was, it was some sort of protection, but the way that I perceived it to be visually, it pretty much laughed at me, because it was like, you're not seeing me for who or what I am.
Yeah. It wasn't a
You're
laugh.
programmed.
It wasn't a laugh like a sinister laugh. It was a laugh like she's off. She's totally off. She's not getting it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, basically.
5 minute call.
Okay.
I'll tell you, there's a chance too that it was actually, actually just a scout that was coming through, investigating, checking you out, and by the same token, the presence that it came with, and not the technology, but the presence, the consciousness that it uses to go through dimensions may be the numbers that you were seeing and the symbols you were seeing. They may generate that, which kind of implies an ancient connection as well of some type.
Interesting.
Just a possibility.
Okay. Absolutely. Well, C-Star, please keep us, make sure that the next experience that you have, now that your sister did state it as well, always have a notebook. We're at the point where we're having all these magnificent experiences, and it's wonderful because, usually when we wake up, you lose, it's almost like a fog starts to take over you if you're not able to hold the information and relate it. try to start doing that as a ritual to yourself every time you wake up, even if it's a small dream or something. Just try to always document your experiences, because it makes it so much more viable when we can come together collectively and be like, oh my gosh, oh, I didn't remember that, but I wrote it down. So, it'll help you get pieces of the puzzle to what things are. Because sometimes later dreams will be matches to like a piece of the puzzle. You'll get some information later that'll be a puzzle to what you dreamt about, months ago, sometimes even a year ago. Or experience that you're having in bed,
and that's
things
true.
like that.
I'll say this. I'll say this because I know we on the 5-minute mark. But after that experience, I have been having a lot of dreams that have been coming into play. So I really, I'm basically at a loss. I feel like I'm stranded on an island somewhere, and I'm just kind of reliving the same thing over and over and over again.
Okay. She's having
But I just have one last thing to say. I have been trying to find the Facebook, and I can't find it.
What Facebook? My Facebook?
So
wait, my Facebook?
Your Facebook.
You can't. It's almost like people say I have a Harry Potter. It's a long-standing joke right now. I have a Harry Potter Facebook because everybody will put my name in, they'll put Flurbrun in, it will never show up. And I really didn't believe anybody until I did it from someone else's computer. You can't find me. It's weird. I would have to share a link. Now, my people on Facebook, especially Jose's really good at this. I love Jose. Jose or Sunstar, if it's possible to get the link for my Facebook, you know how it has the Facebook link. Could you post it on this YouTube, Jose? Jose's good at doing this. Jose, could you post my link to my Facebook on it?
I just asked that somebody add me to it. Tiffany Jones.
Tiffany Jones
on Facebook.
Okay, Tiffany Jones.
Tiffany Jones.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, I'm gonna try to add you that way. And
okay.
Do you have a picture? Do you have what's in your picture? Okay, so we'll figure this out. All right. Well, thank you, C Star, for sharing. You always have the most phenomenal shares.
It's a picture of me.
It's a picture of you? Are you wearing anything?
Okay. Yes. I have red lipstick. I have black glitter, a feather in my hair. I was at
you sound like one of us.
A 20s party. So.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah. So.
I like the glitter. The fairies like the glitter. All right, Mama.
Yeah.
Thank you very much for calling and sharing your story. We appreciate you. We love you. Peace, C Star.
Okay. Peace. Bye-bye.
Take care.
So Barry.
Hey, I don't know about being the gong guy.
See, I told you it's hard.
Barry. It makes me feel like a prick.
I told you, Barry. Remember when I said to you?
The gong show. Barry.
Barry used to always say, "Get it right." See, and I tell you, it's very difficult for me to do it myself. Okay, so for those who are still on my YouTube, I only have 36%. For some reason, my thing is not charging. Hold on. Let me see if I can charge you guys. It's not charging, so you guys are not going to have that much time with us on the show. And I feel really bad, but, I've got a bootleg charger, and I broke all my other chargers, and it's not letting me charge my iPad. And it is what it is. I guess, sometimes things work divinely. So for those on YouTube, I'm sorry if it cuts off after 30-something%. I'm going to try to keep it on as long as possible. Okay, so let's take our next caller, Barry. That was cool. What do you think it is? A Sasquatch? I kind of thought it was a Sasquatch when she said it was hairy and big. And then she could be a native bloodline. She's got feathers and she's got feather in her, on her Facebook page. She sounds like an indigenous. And she doesn't know that might be a connection to her Sasquatch family.
And that does cover both the possible ET connection and interdimensional.
Yeah.
To a degree.
Yeah.
Inner Earth as well.
Yeah. The hieroglyphs. The hieroglyphs is interesting on her ceiling. So.
Well, interesting thing is when I heard her say that, she's the second person in less than about 24 hours to tell me something similar about seeing symbols and not being able to remember them.
Yeah.
You know who the other person was?
Who?
It would be you about 12 hours ago.
Oh my God. Yes, you're right. Oh my God, all over my body. Oh my gosh. You know, see how that works? I'll forget certain things. Yeah, I had hieroglyphs all over my body. And I kind of likened it to the Mummy, that new Mummy movie. I don't think it's called The Mummy. The lady had hieroglyphs all over her body from ancient Egypt. I had all kinds of hieroglyphs all over my body, symbols and numbers. And Barry, you helped me to kind of figure out what that was. You know, kind of sort of like, where's that coming from? Because my father was a mathematician. Many of you don't know, my father was really good at math. He's a mathematician. So that was deep, that my father is around even as he's passed. He stayed. And the numbers and symbols have meanings, and it's my father relaying information to me, which I thought was wonderful. I love you, Barry. All right, let's take our next caller. No more intimate conversations. No more intimate conversations. This will get a little creepy for people. They'll be like, oh God. All right. Our next phone call we're taking is, did we take them? Hold on. Sometimes I forget who. Okay. Next, I'm trying to take everybody in order. 512-9325. You're on the line with Barry Littleton and Fleur Brown. 512-9325. Peace.
Hey, C-Star.
Hey, C-Star. Who are we speaking? Who's this?
How are you?
I'm well.
This is Denise.
Hey, Denise.
Good. Hi, Barry.
Hey, greetings. How you doing?
Good. It's been a while since I've talked to y'all. Like, I've grown up since then.
Aww.
I feel like I'm coming
Haven't
into
we
my
all?
own.
Haven't we all?
Right. So I wanted to call because I had to share this experience with y'all.
Yes, please do.
I think I was dating some kind of other. I don't know. Let me explain what the situation was. So, I hung out with this individual maybe 3 or 4 times. The third and the fourth time, that's when everything got weird. He mentioned you. He was like, so do you listen to Fleur Bruin at all? And I was like, yeah. I didn't really, big you up too much because I didn't want him, I was just trying to feel him out and see where he was with it.
Okay.
And, it seemed like after he mentioned your name, things got strange. He started to...
I triggered something in him. Oh, God.
Yeah, I don't know what you did. And it was also after the activation. It was after that.
Oh, okay.
It started to get strange, and I started to hear him growl.
What?
And I couldn't even break him.
Interesting.
And I was like, I know what you are. I was saying, I know what you are. And I could hear him growling. It was, I had to keep my calm, and, I didn't want to freak out or anything like that. But I was saying, I was like, I know what you are. And it was like he was kind of laughing. And, the more that we were speaking telepathically, the more he would try to, put fear into me, when he was speaking verbally. He would start to tell stories that would maybe scare some people, but it wasn't scaring me because I was like, look, I don't judge. This is what you are, that's fine. But it seemed like he just kept trying to put fear in me.
He was
growling. Go ahead.
Let me ask you, was he growling? Were you guys engaged in any activity? I'm just asking you if it's too personal.
No.
Okay, so he's growling.
No, we were sitting on my couch.
He's sitting on your couch growling.
I don't know if he knew. I don't know if he knew if he was growling or not. But, yeah, he was growling.
That's very...
I have a question.
He was, he was sticking his tongue out, he was rubbing, his long fingernail across my lips. It was super strange. He, at one point, he had his hand around my throat, and he said, my niece likes to play like this.
What?
It seemed like he was trying to put fear inside of. Yes, it seemed like he was trying to put fear inside.
Oh, he's a pedophile.
And he did. Maybe, possibly.
I have a question, Denise.
Okay.
You said that you knew what he was, and did you say that to him verbally?
No, not verbally.
Okay, what exactly do you think he was, and what did you see him as? I mean, all the way around, what you felt, and also what you saw in your mind's eye.
I saw him as this little being, like I don't even know how to describe it. It was just like this little being with like a goatee, and it was like whenever I figured out what it was like like laughing at me.
Sounds like a reptilian, though. That sounds like
Like
reptilians.
what are those little like?
I feel like it was a reptilian.
Oh,
I feel like it was a reptilian because it wasn't the energy wasn't good after this. And like I said, he was trying to put fear inside of me, and that wasn't working. So he hit a spot. Like he said something that triggered me that not a lot of people would know about. And that's whenever, like, you know, it crossed the line. Like him bringing that up.
So, Ja Vega's on. Ja Vega, you say you know what he is? Ja Vega, can you tell us what your thought is of what he is, Ja? Oh, no. What happened? Hold on, guys. Tell me what you think he is, Ja. That's a little weird. I think, you know, and also the fact that he mentioned me and then all of a sudden he flip mode. I don't want to be responsible for shape-shifting reptilians dating my sea stars and then coming out and growling at them. I take no responsibility, sea stars.
No, he's cut off, though.
None.
Nice.
Please, no responsibility, sea stars, if this happens to you. Flurboons did not condone.
No, he's like, I cut him off. Like, he's blocked, he's done, like, that's over with.
Okay. I think it sounds like some demonic, it could be a Satanist too, because Satanists have that, you know, we don't give as much credence. There are beings here who have demons attached to them, but they're part of Satanist sects. It just sounds like he had a demon attached to his auric field. A jinn. Thank you, Katie.
I feel like that's what it was. I feel like that's what it was because he would talk about Illuminati and like all of these dark things. And I'm not a dark person, but he would bring up these dark things trying to put fear in me. And I'm like, I'm not scared. Like that doesn't scare me.
So he was trying to...
But he did hit a spot.
Where is he from? Do you know where he's from?
I'm sorry?
Where did you just meet him? How did you know
north.
him?
I met him when I was out west in California, but he's from New York.
From my neck. Oh,
and I'm in Texas. Yeah. He's from York.
Oh, he mentions my name. He's from New York. This is not good. The being seemingly,
no.
Yeah, the being seemingly is trying to invoke fear in you. It sounds like somebody who's more in the occult because he's doing it to get something from you. He's trying to invoke you. And it makes me think that he's more, I don't think so much he's a reptilian because reptilians don't want you to see that. I don't see reptilians playing with uncloaking themselves for fun. They're not those types. Now, if you uncloak them yourselves and then you see them doing that, that's different. But this being was purposefully doing that, which makes me think he's more Satanist, the occultist. He's trying to play with you, you know, very vampiric.
Right.
He's a negative hybrid. That's what Ja Vega says.
He was like trying to suck. Yeah, he was trying to literally suck the air out of my mouth. And like after I figured out what he was, like I wouldn't make eye contact with him. So he would like try to turn my head physically to look at him. And he said something like, "Oh, people don't want to." He mentioned people not wanting to look in his eyes, and I was like, "Well, yeah, no wonder. Like it makes sense why."
Yeah, who wants to look in the eyes of a man who's growling and What were you going to say, Barry?
Hello?
Hello? Barry?
There's twice that you said something. Yeah, I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Yeah. One thing is that twice you mentioned this, and the first thing I thought was definitely a practitioner, but also immediately gnome came through.
No.
And then you started describing this individual as a gnome, yeah, and then touching your lips, and then you said trying to almost draw your breath. Now, to use a reference, do you remember that an older movie by Stephen King called Cat's Eye?
Yes.
At the very end of that movie.
Yeah.
The very end of that movie was Drew Barrymore. She was real young, though, before Firestarter.
Yeah.
But there was a thing in the wall that came out. The thing would come out of the wall, a little gnome,
and suck the breath out.
climb up on her bed and start suck her breath.
Yeah.
And that's what cats were always blamed for historically, was trying to suck people's breath. Babies.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So I'm just saying, as you're talking, that comes through quite a bit. That means anything to you.
When I saw the little face, the little that looked like that could be a gnome, because it was just like it was a small little face and like a goatee, and it could have been a gnome.
It could be.
I didn't know that they were dark or.
Yes, gnomes are mischievous. Yeah, and they're parasitic a little bit. We were talking about, people were asking what kind of from the fairy realm. There's a lot of beings, and not all of them are light beings. They're not. There's different types of beings from that realm, light and dark. So just like we have aspects of both, you would have that in the fairy realm too, and that other realm. That's interesting. Good,
okay.
Good,
okay.
Well, thank you, Sea Star. That's very interesting. That will give me. That's going to make me.
Yeah, that was the first.
That is. I hope it's the last.
That was the first, and I just want to thank my Sea Star goddess Oshun for being with me through. We spoke on the phone, and she was a really good support system.
Aww.
So I want to thank her
Big up to
for
Oshun.
that as well.
Big up Oshun for being supportive and helpful. That's beautiful.
Yes, shout out. Yes.
Well, thank you, Sea Star.
Something real quick. I want to throw something in real quick before you get off.
Yeah.
There's a book by a gentleman named Mac Toonies that actually, we put the book out, he died. But it's called Crypto-Terrestrials. And what he deals with is that there's a species here on Earth that has lived right with us, using space and extraterrestrials as an excuse. But one of these groups are like a type of a hobbit that have often been encountered by Native Americans and also reported in the forest as the small people, the little people. But he talks about these gnomes and how they're actually physical beings who could come into our communities, into our societies, infiltrate in. And what you're describing is something similar to that, maybe with the added satanic practitioner type of. I don't know. It's very interesting. It's just more things to investigate.
Absolutely.
Yeah, for sure. I just wanted to share that with y'all.
That's beautiful. Thank you for sharing that. It kind of expounds our level of thinking too, because we always think of people channeling ETs or spirits, but what if you're channeling gnomes, or what if you're channeling trolls? We don't talk about the other beings in the other realms, in the other dimensions, that are just as devious, that can get access to us, and they're just as parasitic. And just like, I have a gnome, because there was a storm outside, I had a gnome in my house, but he's great with keeping the weeds out of my garden. But I left him in the house, and then I found water in this oddest place in my room. So I realized that having the gnome in the house is not a good idea. Even if it's a statue, it still has that vibration, because I already given him power by acknowledging what it is. So I realized I have to put my gnome outside, or he'll create more havoc in my house. So yeah, they're very mischievous, and they are parasitic. They can be parasitic and wreak havoc on people. So thank you for sharing that, Sea Star. I appreciate that.
No problem. Thank y'all. Y'all have a good night.
All right, same to you. Peace.
Hey, you do the same now, right?
All right.
Much energy.
Peace.
Wow, that's very
interesting call.
Very
interesting.
I was That's something very different. I love hearing things that kind of even threw us for a loop. All right, let's get to our next call. We got a lot of callers tonight, Barry. This is open mic tonight. If you don't know, now you know. YouTube, you're still on. My iPad is on low, so you'll be on this transmission only for a short period of time, but this is a sample of our blog talk, Aquarius Rising Ninth Gate. You can always, register to the show, and you get, it'll tell you when the show is on. And if you're on my FB page, you already know I do live every Thursday. So the phone number is 515-605-9881. Thank you, Sea Stars and Sun Stars, who are putting the number out there. We have a full call line tonight, and we're going to be on air for 40 minutes left. But even after the 40 minutes is over, we get off live stream. So if you don't call before the 40 minutes, you won't be able to call me later, even though we have an hour after the live stream. Okay, so if you got to call before the 40 minutes. I'll do the countdown, you'll know. 515-605-9881. It's the first time you'll get me and Barry all to yourselves, so take full advantage of that. All right, so let's take our next phone call. 202-3273. You're on the line with Barry Littleton and Fleur Broom. Peace, family.
Oh my God, what's going on? Hi, family.
Peace, Sea Star. What's good?
Hey, what's up? Oh my goodness, it's Godiva. What's going on,
Hi, Godiva.
y'all? How are you?
Good.
Hi. Oh my goodness, I'm so happy to speak to you guys. Welcome back, Madame Fleur Bloom.
Oh, bonsoir. Comment ça va?
Yes. Ah, ça va bien, toi?
Bien. Je suis fatiguée aujourd'hui. Je suis fatiguée. C'est trop fatiguée.
Let's be kind. Let's be kind. Hi, Barry. Barry, what's going on?
Not a thing. How are you doing?
I'm well, thank you. How are you? I'm good. I'm just, I was caught off guard. I'm outside puffing on a cigar thinking there's no way I'm going to get on. So I'm like, okay, let me just enjoy the family tonight. Psych.
Okay, who is this again? I'm sorry.
Godiva.
Who?
Godiva. I sent you a message on your birthday, Godiva.
Oh, hello. Sorry, my phone was cutting out there, and you kept cutting out when you were saying that. Oh, good evening. How are you doing?
I'm well, thank you. How are you?
I'm all right. No complaints. No complaints at all.
Oh, wonderful, wonderful. So I made a little list, even though I didn't think I was going to get on. So I'm going to be quick. So I know I'm on a 5-minute limit, right?
Okay.
Okay, so I'm very glad that you made it safely through the hurricane and nobody got hurt. My energy was out there for that as well. So, yes, much love on that note. I'm going to start with the petty stuff first, okay?
Okay.
So, first and foremost, how do I get rid of these ants? What the hell? Look, I'm not trying to hurt them, but...
Well, okay. I thought I had a remedy. It's all of us. It's all of us, Sea Stars, because we have a sect of insectilians, and we're in that realm, in the fairy realm. We've protected them now. They're everywhere. Everyone's house has. There's so many people are suffering from, especially the sugar ants, the little guys. What I can say is
I don't eat regular sugar. I'm vegan.
I know.
I'm vegan. Straight up. They don't even.
They like vegans because you eat the stuff that they eat. No, what you can do is lead them away from build a trail outside of your house that leads them out. They don't like basil, and you can put a little paprika on the lining of your doors. Paprika or a cayenne pepper and water, and spray and seal your doors with a little bit of crushed up basil. They don't like it. That's the only thing you can do, or lead them with a sugar trail outside of your house to another direction and give them another source to go outside.
I'll try.
Yeah, it's very difficult. Someone said lemongrass. Jennifer said lemon, because Jennifer's a gardener. Jessica's a gardener. So lemongrass and cedarwood oil. Lemongrass and cedarwood oil, Jessica said. Thank you, Jessica.
Thank you, for real, because I tried everything, cinnamon, and then I'm like, look, I've tried talking to them. Y'all should see me. My roommate's like, why don't you just kill them? I'm like, no, don't kill the ants. What's wrong with you?
Rosemary.
I'm like, I will kick you out. You better
Kenya
leave my
said
ants
rosemary. They don't like peppermint oil.
Mm.
Selma said peppermont oil. Bay leaf works well in the West Indies. A lot of times, my aunt in the West Indies uses she uses basil, basil leaves. Ja Vega said mint. They don't like mint. Mint is something they don't like. So you have a couple of different things.
I'm gonna mix all of it.
Yeah. Try a couple things. Yeah, mint. Ja Vega says mint will get rid of them. Yeah. Listen. I'm all about being protective, but you don't want them in your house. And I do realize it can be quite uncomfortable. But remember, the nature's taking back over. It is taking its rightful place. We've displaced nature, so now nature's taking its. You know how I talk about the divine taking her divine placement back in our home court advantage? That's the same thing with the insects. The insects in nature are taking their divine order back in a more cohesive position. We've taken over their environment. It's not them taking over ours. We've incepted, we've colonized, and we've destroyed a lot of land, a lot of trees, and a lot of wildlife. And what happens is that we get really disgusted when they start coming into what we consider to be our territory, but you don't start none, won't be none. That's how the Bronx, anybody from the Bronx know that saying? Don't start none, won't be none. If you've taken over somebody's environment, don't get mad. It's the same thing with, the Middle Easterners doing devastating things in Europe. You started bombing their areas in the Middle East, and then all of a sudden you're mad that they're in Europe, violating your sea stars. Don't start none, won't be none. This is what, it's remnants. It's not us personally necessarily that we did it, but we need to understand that they're finding their direct placement where they were originally. We are the inceptors, not them.
I mean, okay.
I know I make everybody feel bad.
It's amazing how often in the last 3 days ants has come up in the conversations I've been in.
Yes.
Ants again and again keep coming up. Whether it's the ant people that the Hopi were referring to,
the Hopis, yes,
or the ants that, like that guy Michael Desmarque talks about, a planet he saw where the ants were about the size of small horses and they're overrunning the whole humanoid population of the planet. And you think about it, an ant can go like 10 times its weight, so they would be formidable if they were larger. And even at the size they are.
And also, the Andromedans are working with ant-like beings. They actually look like big, muscular beings that are standing upright, but they're ant-looking. They have antennas like ants. They look like ants. Those are the group that's what I'm saying, a lot of the Andromedan hybrids or sea stars are also having, because we are connected to them, there is almost like they just feel safe being around us. You know what I mean? So you could be from that sect of Andromedans.
Look at them.
And that could be a connection to that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, I get the connection, but it's just, when you have guests over and I have to explain, it's like, look, like my house is like stupid clean, and then they're just like doing a cha-cha slide in my kitchen. Like, it's not cool.
I have a question.
Uh-huh.
I'm sorry, I didn't interrupt you.
No. Please proceed.
I have a question. So I would assume this is you. I've been very curious since around 2 months ago. What are the 3 different beings that you encountered? That is you, right?
You. Look, I was. Yeah.
You don't like typing, so you wouldn't tell me.
Yeah, you know that. See, listen, I'm not. Look, I did the same thing to Fleur. I was like, look, I don't like typing. It's just too much. Okay, I was going to tell you that was going to be the next topic after I talk about the whatever happened with my electronics this morning. It was ridiculous.
Okay.
But quick, I'm just going to drop that real quick, and then we're going to move to the next. That exactly what you asked for. So I went out last night, went to go to some poetry slam or whatever. Came home at like 3-something in the morning. Never do that. Came home, went to sleep. My phone was on the charger, iPad charged, everything. Right? I get woke up by the freaking trash people, okay, at 8:54. I usually get up at 6. All right? My phone was turned off. My iPad was turned off. I say this because they were both charged. What the fuck? Excuse my language. I was so mad.
We won't judge you. We won't judge you. This is our open mic. This is open mic tonight.
And all day,
like electronics were just screwing with me, like at work, like all day. Like the IT people were like legit laughing at me, and I'm like, yo, this is not funny. But anyway, if you have any insight on that afterwards, I just wanted to throw that out there.
That's
but
her. No, I think it's her.
Okay.
I think it's you. I think you're doing.
What?
I think you're doing it to the electronics. I think it's you. Right, Barry? Because remember what I was doing?
Yes.
I shouldn't talk about that, right? I'm not going to talk about me.
Mm-hmm.
Let's talk about you.
Well,
yeah.
Well, the poltergeist. We can project our own poltergeist because you have a lot of psychokinetic energy, and it starts manifesting in ways that you're unaware of. I mean, our consciousness is so much more than what we believe or what we're told, and the parts of our consciousness that operate far outside of a physical body, and it can create poltergeists that interfere with electronics a lot. And we start thinking about things that we call right now orgone energy or prana energy, which is life energy that we generate ourselves. A lot of those UFOs even have those around them. That's why they kind of interfere with cars and electronics. There's something about a lot of high energy orgone that interferes with electronics. So that's kind of says something about your biofield, about your aura. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I believe it. And I just started taking more B12. They say it's good for spiritual work and things like that. Because I always feel drained, like when I try to do any type of anything. And somebody was telling me that that's great for that, like helping me, like my body out to be able to regain, like, power when I'm going through it. But, like, I wasn't expecting that. I was like, okay, yeah, I need to be at work in the morning. I still got to live in the Matrix. So, yeah, that wasn't cool. That's not cool. I just had a review too. I was like, oh no. Yeah. And I'm never on time. Never. Like, time is just like a concept to me. Whenever they're like, oh, you know you're late, I'm like, really, am I? Are you sure? They hate me.
Okay.
But I think
okay. I'm not going to get cheated out of this. I want to know about these beings, and I know we're on a timeline. We're already about to cross this, but I have to know about these. I've been wondering for a long time.
I'm so sorry to talk to you guys. I'm sorry. Okay.
That's all right.
I'm glad you brought it up because, look, I was going to go into it, but I didn't know if I had enough time. But since you brought it up, okay. So, all right. It was a dream. Okay, well, obviously not, but it was. All right. I was at home, and I was at home, and then I was. The placement is very different when you're in the ether than here. Like here, it's not the space is different. Anyway. It was like crowds of people just cheering, dancing, happy, just dancing, happy, just dancing. And then there was a craft. It was round, and it was spinning so fast, but it was really dumb close to us. Like it was coming down, like it was spinning so fast. And everybody was just dancing around like it was cool. And I'm like, oh, okay. Well, I mean, I wasn't freaked out, but I was just like, like, what's going on? But they were cheering and they were happy. Like I had obviously had something to do with it. Like they were just super happy. So then a guy came out. He was wearing a grayish type of robe thing. He came out and, directed a female towards me. And the female, she was like, she wasn't fair. She was kind of like Flora's complexion, but she had like short natural hair. And she just she apparently is like an exchange program. I don't know. She came to stay. Okay. They came and brought her to my house, and like everybody was just cheering and happy. I was like, okay, fine, we all going to party. I asked my pastor about it, Christian pastor about it a couple of years. This thing happened a couple of years ago. I asked him about it. You should have heard what he said. I'll tell you what he said afterwards. But then, yeah, she came in the house, and she was not talking with her mouth. She was talking to me telepathically the whole time. Like, and I was like, okay, girl, like, why aren't you talking normal? And she just started laughing at me. And I was like, well, can you try to talk normal? Because you're, like, freaking out my friend. Like, I had my ex was there, and he, too, was just kind of, like, weirded out by her, like, why is she not speaking normal? So then we changed her into, like, normal, like, our clothes, because she wasn't wearing our clothes. She was wearing what she had on the craft. And, she was there to stay. Like, she was coming to chill. So
She came to the balcony type area, and then I went out the front door for something on the step, like it was an apartment building, and I came back up the stairs, and there was a blue being in the stairwell. She was female too. But the funny thing about her, we didn't have much of an interaction. The only freaky thing she did was like, she kissed my arm. Like she kind of, I won't say she bit. That's why I say kiss. Like she sucked on my arm. It tastes like, it seemed like she was like trying to get high. Like it legit seems like she got high off of my skin. Like no shit. Cause she just like, as soon as she did it, she backed off and she just felt like she was like in ecstasy. Like she was enjoying herself. So I left her in the hallway and I went back in the house. And when I went back in the house, you know, Girly was still doing, you know, the telepathy. And I was just like, okay, I was talking to her too, like, and then I was talking to my ex. I'm like, yo, like, maybe we should like leave her here for a little bit. And then, like, we were whispering in another room, and she was in the back room. And I was listening, I'm like, you know, like maybe we should go and like, you know, go hang, like regroup somewhere else so we can like, you know. And she came out of the room, she's like, she starts laughing at me again. She's like, girl, like I can hear you. And telepathically, she's telling me like, I can hear you. Like you don't, even if you're whispering, like I can hear you. And so like it kind of, it was very strange. So then, hold on, I wrote it down. There was a third one, but now it's starting to escape me. I wrote it down. She, I like you were saying, I keep a dream journal because of stuff like this.
Good,
I like
good.
I went to the school. I keep a dream journal too because stuff like this has been off the chain lately. There's another girl. Oh, I went to the school one night. That was crazy too, but that's not the topic we're talking about tonight. So we'll talk about that another night. The school was off the chain too. It was very fun. But
What was the being? What was the third being like? Real quick, what was the third being
the
like?
third one, the third being is but the crazy thing about it is right now it seems like I can't freaking remember her.
Interesting.
I can't remember her.
How interesting is that?
It's not funny. It's
no,
like
it's
I'm not supposed to tell you that.
That usually happens. It happens.
No. I remember her. Wait, I remember her. I remember her now. Okay, sorry. I was in a subway. It's not funny, Barry. Don't laugh at me. I cheat a little bit. It's not funny.
I'm sorry. I'm not. It's not like that.
You know, I cheat a little once in a while. So, you know, it's not cool when I don't remember stuff. It's not funny.
It's all right. It is what it is.
The third one. I remember her now. I was in a subway, and I was with some girls, and we were just selling stuff, and like we were just running around selling stuff. Like we were, you know, one of them had got into some trouble, and I grabbed her like she was about to fall, and we were in a obvious that we were like underground. It needed to be represented. And this woman, she was tall. Like she was taller than me. She reminded me of that lady off the Fifth Element. You know, the creature that came to drop off the stones.
Oh,
Fifth
wait,
Element,
the tall model. You're talking about the tall model.
Yeah.
Model. Okay.
The opera singer.
Yes. The octopus.
Yeah, but now, mind you, I'm just saying. Yeah. Now, mind you, I'm just saying that she was dressed like her, like only her eyes were showing. That's what I mean. Like, I didn't see anything underneath. Right? But only her eyes were showing. And she was talking to me telepathically, too. And she asked me straight up, she was like, will you join us? And I'm like, join who?
Now,
You got to give me some explanation. I don't know if you join in,
Excuse me, I'm interrupting. Hold on, I have a question. Is this somebody you physically met in the subway, or was this a dream?
No, this was a dream too.
Oh, okay.
No, this was a dream too. She came and she, you know, after I was interacting with the girl, she pulled me to the side and she's like, will you join us? And I'm like, join who? Like, you got to give me some time. I'm not going to give you an answer right away. I need to think. I need to know who you are. I need to know what's going on. Like, you know. And she's like, okay, no problem. You know, just don't take too much time. We're here for you. And then she walks out, and it just two doors disappeared, and the next thing you know, we were in the street in D.C. And I'm like, wait a minute, I didn't know we were in D.C., but we were in D.C. I go, well, okay. And she walked up a very familiar street, that I knew from my dad's neighborhood, and yeah, but she was very direct with me. Not like, oh girl, she just kept laughing and like she was observing me. But yeah. Okay, those were the three. Mm-hmm. I'm finished.
Interject real quick because I know we got to tie this one up. Yeah, I mean, a lot of times in the dreamscape we have, like I said, different inorganic beings and things that come into our field of awareness, and then it becomes just a matter of how we're interpreting them. Actually, at that point. So yeah, I see what you're saying. Because I was getting confused with what you were describing, if they were all dreams or if a couple of these were actually physical beings you had met in the physical world. So, but I understand what you're saying. Yeah, you're encountering different scouts and different energy beings and awareness forms in the dreamscape very much. So I think the second thing to do is starting to be able to really focus your dream attention, which means being able to really paying attention to them and focus your gaze on them and kind of see what they turn into. Because you'll find out a lot of times, a lot of things we're seeing in the dreams are truly phantasmagorical images. But we have other beings like ourselves in our field of awareness that are generating energy. And that's how we're perceiving them through our cognitive dissonance, if that makes sense. So kind of start focusing on some of these weird people and see what type of energy they turn into, what they morph into. Use your third eye when you're dreaming, because you sound like a dreamer. So,
See, the thing about this is there's a time where when I begin to when I begin to let them know that I'm aware, these dudes in all black just come out of nowhere and force me back into my room and tell me to wake up.
Oh, interesting.
It's like they don't want me around, like, knowing what I'm doing. Yeah, this has happened on multiple occasions. Like, one time, like, doors would appear in my house that aren't supposed to be. Now, this is all dream time. They'll appear, and they'll come out and, like, try to fight me or, not physically harm me, but they'll put me in my bed, tell me, wake up. Like, they don't want me messing around there. Like, they don't want me talking to, like, when I'm aware, they don't like it for some reason. Those guys, per se, they don't like it. And I'm just like, okay, what's going on? But, I mean, hey, it's like they'd rather have me awake than have me messing around in their time. I mean, whatever. But those guys, they're distinct. The only thing I can think of is they're archonic, because it's like, why would you stop me from being me?
Well,
like,
it may be it might also be aspects of yourself, your higher self, keeping you on task or not overexposing you to things also. We do everything outside of ourselves is not usually a third party. Sometimes it's our higher self utilizing what looks like beings to kind of motivate you to do things too. So it could just be you on a higher level, keeping you focused or keeping you safe from maybe getting information that it's preempt a little too soon for, or keeping bringing you back into wake state, because maybe you would never come back to wake state because you're so intrigued by what you're experiencing in the ether or in the astral planes. You know what I mean? So it could just be you.
Yeah, because I do. Because as soon as I start asking questions, I'll be like, where am I? They're like, oh, wake her up. So let's go back to bed.
Well,
as soon as I start asking where I'm at, they're just like, oh, nope.
Well, Cesar, thank you so much for sharing. Yeah. I love that. And again, you're doing well by writing and journaling a lot of your experiences, which are great. And, if you take some of the advice that Ms. Barry Littleton just gave you, kind of piece it together, try to utilize your discernment, your spiritual discernment, to kind of see if they morph into something else. And you'd be surprised when you consciously are doing that, they may turn into other beings or maybe even to yourself. So that'll be interesting to hear the next time we speak.
Okay, and thank you guys.
Try to remember. My pleasure.
Go ahead, Barry, because I want to ask you one last thing, but go ahead.
Sure. Just try to remember to try to see by energy when you're dreaming. And just that simple, if you can transfer that command from your conscious mind to the subconscious in the dream state, you'll be able to do it. And once you start seeing by energy, and that means just basically the same way you would practice a gazing technique here when you're meditating or something, like a sun technique or any gazing looking technique, try that when you're dreaming. Just remember how to try that when you're dreaming, which starts with kind of focusing on what that odd person or odd thing is when you're dreaming.
Yeah.
All right.
Because they don't start fearing me. But okay, Barry, I just want to ask one question. Maybe I need to text you because I'm sorry, family. I really appreciate the time. I called in like late, but Barry, do you think that you can do numbers for me real quick? My birthday, 11/11. That's it. I can hang up after that. I mean, I can put myself on mute, but I just wanted to know because this type of stuff happens all the time. I don't know.
We'll answer that. Yes.
I think it'd be more Flubber's area than mine, actually.
Well,
oh, really? Okay. Hey, either one. 11/11.
C-Star, I got to make sure I get to our other callers because they're getting
But
questions.
I'm done.
But
I'll
I'll answer that
on mute.
as no. But thank you again for calling. I love you. Keep doing what you're doing and keep your fields of awareness.
I love you guys more.
Okay. Peace.
Okay.
Hey, much energy. God bless.
Yes, 11/11 is just an awakening number. That just means that you're on the right track. 11/11 is just your field of awareness, noticing that it's aware and it's awake and it's present. Anytime you start seeing 11/11, it means that you're aware, awake. You know, it's almost like saying to yourself, you know, some people like to say that 11/11 is connected to the angelic numbers, which could also be, there's other meanings to that. But right now, in this time frame that we're in, what I notice is that 11/11 simply just means that, oh, I'm awake. It's almost like, okay, she's right on. It's almost like piercing through the veil, and it's saying, oh, you saw us. Okay, you're right on, and then closing it up, kind of like that. That's my take on 11/11. And I don't want to, Barry. We've got a lot of phone calls, and I'm sorry, Sea Stars and Sun Stars. I didn't mean to hold our callers. I know it's very difficult. See, Barry, it's very difficult for us to shut down our Sea Stars, and especially when they're excited and they're trying to talk to us.
I screwed up that time.
Oh, no, that
I
was me.
That was me.
Because I wanted her to, you know, sometimes when they've been, you know, a lot of us don't get to have this conversation with one another. You know, people think we're cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. This is the one platform that we're allowed to have these conversations freely and without censure or judgment. So sometimes you just get excited and you want to get it all out because when is she ever going to have this conversation with someone, you know, that would be in this or know this or experience these things, you know what I mean? So I get it. But for right now, we got to do the 5 minutes because we only have 14 minutes on live stream. If you are calling YouTube, because I don't know how long, my iPad is not I don't know what's wrong with the battery. It's dying. You're going to only be in for a certain period of time unless you're on my FB. If you want to call 515-605-9881. You have 13 minutes to call in. After the 13 minutes, we're off live stream, but we have an hour bonus hour that we talk, but we won't be on live stream and you won't be able to call. So again, you have the number 515-605-9881. And this is for really the YouTube family because you might just get kicked off at this point. I don't know why I can't get the charger to work properly. And for my FB family, you know you're always down, so you'll be on for the full show. Okay, so let's take our next caller. We have 313-9319. You're on the line with Fleur Brune and Barry Littleton. Peace, family.
Hello?
Hey, peace.
Hello?
Yes?
Hi, Subaru.
Hi, sweetie. How are you?
I'm fine. Well, no, not fine.
You're not fine.
Actually.
I'm sorry.
No. I told you about my grandfather passing away. Hey, Barry.
Oh.
I talked to you before, and I found out that I was having
Monique?
contact with the... yes, this is Monique.
Okay, Monique. Hi, Monique.
This is Monique. Hi. I told you about my grandfather passing in July, and then I had one of my cousins pass the 20th of August.
I'm sorry.
That energy that you all was feeling, I felt the same thing. I felt a big culmination coming. Mm-hmm. So what I did was I actually handed incense, like with lavender and dragon blood and things, and I had been burning them around the house. I didn't let my kids go out and look at the solar eclipse
because I didn't like the energy. But I let them look at it on TV, but not outside.
Interesting.
Um,
Everyone had a different feeling about the eclipse. This is good to hear. Okay.
I felt like the eclipse was fake.
What did you say? What did you say? You felt like
The
what?
reason why I felt in my being that the eclipse was fake.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
And I felt like the hurricanes that came and everything that came with the eclipse, the energy. It was the energy.
Mm-hmm.
And people wasn't grounding themselves and they wasn't preparing themselves.
Interesting.
And my son was telling me about, it's gonna sound weird, but I believe him. He was like, my grandmother had passed. She passed away August 26, 2011.
Okay.
So, right before the eclipse, right after the eclipse, my son came to me and said, Granny been coming to me. I've seen Granny outside and everything. And I'm like, okay, what is she saying? And he was like, she got a message. And he would close his eyes and he could hear what she said. And he would translate what she was saying. And she was telling me to keep doing the protection rituals I was doing for everybody.
Interesting.
Because I was doing protection with rituals for everybody.
Mm-hmm. That's
beautiful. I felt like it was going to be chaotic.
You're not wrong about that. Because,
also,
because after the eclipse, we had a lot of turmoil. We had the weather wars that they were unleashing. And also we had, what was that? We had some sort of turmoil in one of the cities. What was it like? I forgot. There was like some sort of, what was it again? Like right after some racial thing. There was some racial issue right after. I forgot about it.
Was it Charlottesville?
Yeah, something else happened.
Also, I wanted to talk about, I actually go to the magic school on the other side.
Yes.
When we go to sleep.
Yes.
Yes, and I was like, whoa, what am I? I'm like a high schooler when I go.
Good.
But I go, and the other day I had a dream. Oh, Barry don't even know. Barry, I forgot to tell you. Okay, I found out that the Aquarius were getting in contact with me. Remember, I told you that I had died last year, a couple of days before my birthday, and the fireman had to punch me in my chest to make my heart beat again because my heart just stopped. I was gone, and I was in blackness, and I wasn't scared or nothing. And so I had been getting contacted by the Aquarians all that time, and not even realizing that I was seeing the neon writing on my wall in the different fonts and everything, and I was seeing visions of people, like the visions. It started off as a red green like plasma thing, and they would morph into like physical, like people, like 3-dimensional people. Also, I lay down and I feel a humming. My body hums from the ground, but I'm laying down.
Interesting.
Okay. The lady that was on earlier when she said she see the hologram, I see like glittery things shooting out my eyes, but I know it's not a visual thing because it doesn't happen all the time. So I'm wondering if it's the fairies. And then my daughter told me she was a fairy. There's been a lot of stuff going on.
Oh, wow. What do you mean she told you she's a fairy? Did she say she feels like she's from that realm? She's incarnated?
Oh, no. She didn't even say. She just walked up. She kind of like stepped up to me. She was like, Mommy. I'm like, what? What, Layla? And she was like, I'm a fairy. And when she said that, I'm like, I believe you.
Interesting.
And she just walked away. and skipped on out the room and blah, blah, blah. And then I had a continuous dream the other night. I woke up in the morning, got my kids ready for school, laid back down, took a nap, went into the dream, the same dream again, in a different part, like where I left off. And then I wound up going to sleep with my daughter when she came home after school for like a little nap. And I went back into the dream. Now, I was like in this, I had on little shorts, and I had on like this, a jacket, like a sexy circus woman.
Oh.
Like, I don't even know how to explain it. Yeah. And the weird thing about it is I got on this thing, and this is where I think I really went somewhere. And my daughter, she travels with me. Well, at the time, my kids, we all travel. And you guys know what I mean by travel. Okay. And we have cycles, like the 20th through the 22nd or the 23rd of every month.
Yes.
But I got on this thing, and it was like, it looked like an escalator, like when I went to try to step on it, and my body actually attached to it, and it was a wave, and it took me up.
Interesting.
It took me up. And then when I wanted to go down, it took me back down. Like it was a wave. It looked like an escalator. But when I actually put my hand on the thing, it took me by my hand and it floated me up. And when I was done where I was at, it floated me back down.
That's interesting. There's some technology that actually does that on some of the crafts, or feels like that. But C-Star, we have to, I love these shares, but, you know, our time limit is reaching that point. We've got 4 minutes left in live stream. And I love your shares because you have such a plethora of information. And, you know, a lot of your pieces of your puzzle come together.
It was one more little thing I wanted to ask you guys about. My third eye is throbbing. It's been a story about this little girl that was found. Well, she wasn't little. She was 19 years old. She was found in the freezer dead.
Well, okay.
I'm sorry.
We'll answer that. Yeah. I heard about that when I came back to the platform. We can answer that offline if you don't mind. But I'm going to have to say adieu to you, sweetie. I love the fact when you call. I love your energy. I wish you well. And I look forward to your next phone call. So thank you for calling and sharing. And I'll answer that as I...
Thank you, Barry. I wanted to tell Barry.
All right, peace.
I've been wanting to tell Barry. Thank you. Okay, bye-bye.
Peace.
Okay.
You too.
Okay. As far as the little girl that was found, before I actually answer that, hold on. Okay. Hold on. I'm getting messages. Okay. Go in there. Go in the bathroom. Okay, sorry. I have my own little people too. There's no school because there's storms. But anyway, with there's 4 minutes left, I'm going to answer this question. But there's only 3 minutes left in live stream. If you're going to call in, the lines are full. I can only have so many people on the calls, but I've got to take these calls a little further. The phone number is 515-605-9881. You can only call now within the next 2 minutes. If you don't call, you're not going to be able to hear the show unless you're seeing me live right now. YouTube, you may not have that much longer. Again, I don't know why the iPad is not filling up. We always have paranormal stuff happen during the shows. We're used to it. And my FB family, you'll be in. So if you're on YouTube and you can go to my FB page, please watch the live stream that way. If not, I would suggest you call in now just so you can listen to the show. If you have a question, push 1. But again, this is your last. You have 2 minutes and 28 seconds to actually call in and be able to listen to the rest of the show in case this goes down. So again, it's 515-605-9881. And we will continue this conversation now. Now, for the young lady, to my knowledge, that I heard about that was found in the freezer, they're not releasing a lot of information, and I really don't want to dwell too long on this. Yes. I don't really want to dwell too long on this because it's not really something I like to perseverate on or to speak about strongly because I don't like to manifest more of it. As we've talked about before, melanin, or melanated organs from those of melanin dominant, brown people, carbon people, whatever you call people who have melanin on the surface of their skin, many of their organs are being harvested, taken from their bodies and sold on the black market.
90 seconds.
90 seconds in a live stream. I personally, how I felt about it, I could be wrong because they're not releasing information. Whenever they're doctoring and hiding things and you don't see things transparent, it makes me think that this young lady, that's why I tell you as parents, please don't give your children's blood types. Please don't give away information about your genetics and, too much information to these hospitals or sign into your organ donating things unless you want to donate your organs, because that goes in a database.
60 seconds.
And what they know about you, they will outsource to a community, usually in Europe, somewhere in Eastern Europe, or somewhere in the Middle East, and they will be auctioning off those organs. And unbeknown to you, they will find out where you are and you will disappear and they will take your organs out. And that happens more often than not. I don't like to talk about it. It's not positive. But like I say, we're living in a world where this is a plausibility. And my personal thought on this, just from what I know, is that this little girl, this young lady, her organs, because they won't tell you this, and they won't tell you, because even with many of the males, brown males now that are found shot in the head, the parents are going for the autopsies, they're getting paid off, but the body is stuffed with paper and all the organs are
10
missing.
seconds.
So this is not something they want to talk about publicly. It's a fact. Brown melanin dominant organs are being sold and they're worth more than gold on the black market. Because we're going into another environment where the suns are highly magnetic. A lot of people cannot tolerate them. There are those in the top tier 1% who cannot survive the environmental changes, and they are opting to take the organs of those who have the advantage. So I'm sorry for speaking about it. That's my take on it. And I hope that's not the case with the young lady, but all of the signs, I've been in this world a lot, and I've been able to see a lot of angles. That's the first thing I thought, and even after hearing all the information, it's the last thing I thought. So that's my take on it. Do you know anything about that, Barry? I think Barry.
The harvesting of the organs kind of... what's that?
Oh, no, go ahead, Barry.
No, I said as far as the harvest of organs, about, that's the horrible black market doing that right now.
Yeah.
So that's all I'll say on that. But on the flip side of something she was saying about her pineal gland vibrating, that also can be a sign of what's called inductive linkage, which is when you have your own guides and other beings trying to use your own pineal gland as a wormhole to project and actually communicate. It's something that actually the light masters used to do quite a bit that's been corrupted to a certain degree. But nonetheless, when you start feeling that type of a vibration like that, that's often can be one sign that you're getting some type of inductive linkage, some type of a download. So that's just another way to kind of think that it's something else you may be experiencing also. Just another possible aspect. That's
great for her to know that and to hear that. Okay, so Barry, how are you doing so far? Are you ready for more calls? We have a full house tonight. Are you doing okay? Do you need to take a chiefing break?
Absolutely.
Do you want to chief? Do you want to? How you doing?
I'm all right.
All right. So we're gonna continue to chill. I'm joking with you. I'm joking with Barry. I play with him like that. I know.
Oh, I know. It's all good. Make me go all Greg Mathis on you. Judge Mathis.
So let's go to our next caller. We've got 843-5541. You're on the line with Barry Littleton and Flurburn. Peace, family. 843-5541.
Hi, Flurburn.
Hi, sister.
Hi, Flurburn. Hi, Barry.
Hi.
It's Brianna. I'm going to be quick.
Hi, Brianna. How are you?
How are you?
Good. I'm well.
I'm excellent.
Good.
I just wanted to ask a couple of questions about just the energy that's been going on. when the eclipse first came, I really thought to myself, because I keep up with the phases of the moons, because I'm a root girl here in Charleston.
Ooh, I love it. Oh, yes.
So I keep up with my moon patterns. And so when they said we were having this eclipse, and they said the new moon, I'm like, the new moon is little. I was going to pass over the whole sun if it's little. And then I think you did a live stream like that next day or the day after, and you said it. And I was like, okay, I know I wasn't crazy. So since then, I've been like, okay, when the eclipse happened, it poured down rain where I was, so we didn't see any of it.
Oh, okay.
But I'm in Charleston, and we were the last stop. So it got completely dark here because, we were on that last
you got the
end
full,
of it.
Yeah, you got the full Monty.
And so it was completely black, but I went back in my room, and I felt chills from the top of my head all the way to my feet.
Ooh.
And they just kept going for a little bit. And then it stopped. And I cried. I literally, by 30 minutes, maybe 40 minutes later, I was in full blown, just almost like somebody died. I was just crying out for melanated beings, for the earth. Just everything just hit me all at one time. And so that was very bizarre to me because some people were so energetic, and I felt like, God, what's wrong with me that I'm feeling like this? And I was feeling it in my body. My body is completely off balance. Mm-hmm. Since then, it's been it's almost as if I'm going through whatever the earth is going through as well. And then the last thing I wanted to say to you, and I'm going to go because I know I'm on a little time frame,
okay.
But you did the activation. I've shared with you in the past. And if you're doing Kiki sessions, I need to schedule one. But my son is, I married a guy that's of Haitian descent. Mm-hmm. And I told you after being with him, I'm able to see races or ethnicity on people. Like when I first saw you, I knew you were from Martinique. I don't know you, but I just knew that about you because of your look.
Yes.
And when he would speak Creole to his mother, I could never speak it back to them, but I could understand it. And because of the stigma of people in Haiti, and they're so ashamed of certain aspects of their culture, he never taught our son Creole, which I was very, very upset about.
Absolutely.
But when you did the activation the other day in Creole, that same chill that went from my head to my feet when the eclipse happened went through my entire body.
Okay.
I didn't know what you were saying in Creole, but my spirit knew what you were saying.
Yes.
And my son, ever since you did that activation, it's almost as if he's ready to fly. And he tells me he's Anunnaki. He tells me this. He has studied, and he's 13 years old, and he will tell me he's Anunnaki bloodline. That's why I'm so good at math, Mom. He'll say that to me.
I love it.
So I don't know anything about it. I haven't done the research. I'm sorry, go ahead.
I love the fact that you realize that he was activated, that that activation was purposefully done because I knew what was coming. And it was necessary. It was a little preamped, but everyone felt like it was necessary for certain bloodlines to have more of a vantage point, meaning that they had access to those lost codons that are on lockdown until we get to a certain vibratory pattern on the earth. I had to unlock those within a specific bloodline. And I'm so grateful that you get it and that he was activated. And it's nothing to be frightened of. It's just that his capabilities, his abilities, his innate qualities, things that are dormant, that our ancients had access to, he will now have access to those skill sets so that he will be able to navigate through this last stage of the quickening to be able to be successful. That's all that was. And how it shows up is different for everyone. It's amazing that you talk about this because another Sea Star was talking about both of her sons being activated. She's from Jamaican lineage. Big up to our Jamaican family. And both the boys are being activated. And they had the bloodline that was to be activated, but they never showed any interest or any signs that they were that aware and awakened until the activation. So congratulations. It says a lot about your bloodline, his bloodline, and he will do exactly what is necessary. And people will show up to because most mothers or people were concerned that, okay, I'm activated, what happens now? The universe is very, 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 very nurturing in this way. Whoever's closest to you, whoever is in the same region will contact or be available to that starseed or to the person who's been activated. So you will have access to someone who will help you to utilize or to allow you to actually acknowledge and to be able to train yourself to utilize some of these new skill sets. So don't worry about that. Everything you need will come at the time you need it. And he will have the support system. It will
What
show
about
up.
these? Will that make the bugs come too? Because the bugs keep coming and they get right in my ear and start like.
That might be fairies, honey.
I'm
that
like,
might
what
be
is
that might
this?
be the fairies. That might be the fairies.
Okay.
The fairies. That realm is there, and it's interesting you said that. So be careful to swat. Though usually with the activations, with these new realms, you're highly awakened. The fairies are buzzing. You'll see them do weird things. They are shapeshifters, so they don't look like what you think. Sometimes you get to see them fully as they are, which most of you are starting to see remnants of now. But the fairies are around and they like to buzz in your ear. I'm not saying it can't be a bug, but be mindful it could be something else as well.
Yeah, it's happening too often to just be a bug. It's like every other day.
And it's whispering too. Watch Tinkerbell. They whisper. You think it's just them buzzing, but really communication, whether you consciously understand it or not, it's still getting into your subconscious. There's some communication happening as well.
Okay.
The pixies are the very tiny ones. So if you're getting the buzzing and they're very tiny, it's usually the pixies. The fairies are a little bigger, look like dragonflies sometimes. Sometimes you'll see them riding butterflies. You'll see them on flowers. They like when you glitter. They like dancing. They like sparkles. They'll show up for that. So like I saw a fairy riding. I just saw the silhouette of a fairy riding another dragonfly.
The love bugs. The love bugs. The love bugs. Oh my God, I'm sorry. I just had to say that. The love bugs are everywhere.
Yes.
Oh my God, we can't even get rid of them.
That's our season. Yeah, that's our season.
Okay.
It's love bug season. Well, thank you, Sea Star. He is activating.
Yeah, not here though. We don't have love bug season in Charleston, and we have it in the spring.
Oh,
it doesn't happen in the fall.
Wait a second. So you're getting love bugs now?
We get love bugs in the spring.
And you're getting them now?
I mean, like we have them now, like we did in the spring.
Okay, remember we're in 5D now. Okay, we've changed dimensions, and this is very different. Interesting. I wonder if mine will switch instead of we get ours in fall. I wonder if mine will switch to yours. Or vice versa. This is interesting.
Yep. I mean, they are ridiculous. They're ridiculous.
I know. People, it's hard.
I mean, to the point where people are putting memes on Facebook about them.
they're in love. Literally. Love bugs in love.
Yes.
They're so interesting to watch. And, my little ones are always trying to save them. Making sure that, because they go everywhere. They're so entrenched in making love that they don't even pay attention to their environment. I mean, who would love to be in love that much where you're just like, you don't care? It's a beautiful way to be. Well, thank you, Sea Star.
It is.
Wonderful share. And I wish your young starseed well. Maybe I'll make a video. There's a lot of starseeds being activated. And again, I was purely utilized for the activation. And I was told that each starseed and person, because these weren't just little people that were activated, it was just people from that bloodline, a specific bloodline, they will all have assistance by other people, teachers. People will show up to assist them in a way that's necessity for them. So know that that's going to happen. Someone will be there. It's weird. They will get what's necessary, and they may not even need it. Like your starseed sounds like they already knew what they were. So the access to their codons, they may just have awareness anyway, and they may not need outsourcing from a teacher or a guide. So it sounds like he has that capability. So congratulations.
His discernment has been completely heightened since the activation too.
It was premature.
Yeah, he's always been discerning. Yeah.
It was premature, but it was necessary. We were in the art of war, and because they're doing so many things to try to sidebar us, it was necessary for these bloodlines to be activated as soon as possible, so that they had a fighting chance to make it past, to make it to their quickening, to go, through the ascension, the full ascension process. Because we have a lot of technology that they're utilizing against people, and it's highly unfair. So I gave the activation so that it levels the playing field now. So now when they come for us, we're level with them. So we have access to our abilities. Right. The same fakery that they use, the technology or abilities that we had in us. So they're knockoffs. They're using knockoff technology to do what we innately do as when we're in our original form.
Yeah, because I could feel in my spirit they were mad about how we did with Irma. They was real mad.
Were. They have to listen. Don't.
They were real mad.
Don't sleep on the divine. They thought we were going to sit down and be complacent like we normally were and just be okay with the okie doke. No, we had all of our sea stars and sun stars working collectively, working that storm down. And I could feel that they were upset. You could feel it. Because every time you saw the news, they were like, oh my God, it was a 5. Oh, it went down to a 4. But don't worry, it'll be back to a 5. Like, they were disappointed that it was going down. It was a shame.
Yes. Oh, my goodness. So grateful for you guys. Thank you again.
I'm grateful for you as well. Thank you. And again, congratulations. And, I look forward to hearing how his progress is. Try to shoot me an email. My email's overwhelmed. I wish I could get more personal, but I would definitely like to hear a follow-up on how he's doing and how he's progressing.
Alrighty. Thank you. I will.
Thank you, C-Star. Peace.
Peace.
I think I lost Barry along the way. Barry Littleton, come here now.
I'm here.
You right here?
I'm here.
I'm gonna shake you.
I'm here. I'm gone nowhere. I was just listening.
I'm gonna shake you.
Sometimes it's better to remain silent, open one's mouth, and remove all doubt that they could be a fool. So I was just listening.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. Hold on.
I find their description of the islands, islanders, and all this, her ethnic descriptions of the Haitians, it's very, very interesting.
Yeah, that is being able to see, because many of the islands, we have similar features. That's, and my father used to make jokes. Like every time him and my mom would go back to Martinique, they just saw me all over the island. They saw me as a dark-skinned brown girl. They saw me as a very fair-skinned girl. They saw me as the copper girl. Because the islands are so small, we don't have a big genetic pool. So we generally will have same dispositions. Oh, I'm sorry. I have my... Yeah, so it's wonderful that she's able to have that ability to see that. I can see genetic qualities in people all the time. Like with you, I'm good with that because I come from, outsiders, and also I've been exposed to so many different nationalities and complexions of people, countries. I'm grateful to my parents for, I've been great. I'm grateful to have known so many different types of beings and people. And because of that, I can see qualities in other people, racial components, nationality. I can see it in people. So that just comes from being exposed. But she got that innate quality, probably with breeding with somebody who had that ability. When we breed with certain people, we also take on some genetic coding.
So you do have that ability, definitely. You're one of the first to point out certain ethnicities that I have that I don't discuss.
Absolutely.
I mean, you pointed that out very closely. That was very interesting. Yeah.
Anyway, okay, so let's go.
So.
Yes. What do you think, Barry?
Another call?
Yeah.
I think go for it.
You're good.
It's cool that these many are getting processed. I hope hopefully a few more get through. So.
I hope so. This is good. We're doing better than we normally do. So I'm grateful for that. 647-1748. You're on the line with Fleur Boone and Barry Littleton. 647-1748. Peace, family.
Hi. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can. Peace, C-Star.
Hi. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Hey.
Hey.
Hi. I'm Crystal. I'm calling from Toronto.
Hey, Crystal from Toronto, Canada.
Greetings.
How you doing, C-Star?
Yeah. So, good. I just want to give you guys a little update what's been going on.
Yes.
I wanted to first start out by saying, and I am aware of the 5-minute timeline. Right?
Oh, you're fine.
Just want to start it out by saying, that a few years back, when I didn't understand my energies and stuff like that, and there was a lot of paranormal things happening, and I didn't know what to do, how to handle it, who to talk to. I kind of told the energies, you know what, just take it away, forget it. I can't deal. It's too strong. It's like trying to capture air. You can't do it, right? That's how widespread it was and how strong it was, right?
Yes.
Hello?
Yes, I'm still here.
So